Welcome to the channel. Today I thought our best start off point would be with my everyday carry. Now, to be honest, in my everyday carry I have 3 tiers to my everyday carry, and the one you're going to see is the first tier. Basically the things that I have carried on my belt and the things that I have carried in my pocket carry. And the most important tool in my everyday carry is probably my knife. This is the Spiderco Tenacious. It cost me about $40. I got it through Walmart. I really like this knife because this knife is heavy duty, it's tough, it's probably a little heavier than I would like, but it really does what I need it to. It cuts cardboard at work for what I do. One day I used it for a whole day and it remained sharp. And with a little bit of touch-up that night, it was cutting paper again. The blade's a little, those signs there, I use it for food preparation. That's pumpkin pie that I ate yesterday, by the way, just so you know. And they didn't have a knife to cut it, so I just opened this up and cut it up. I haven't had a chance to clean it. Probably right after we're done here, I'll take care of that. But it basically replaced this tool, which I really actually liked for a while. This is the Kershaw Skyline. And I enjoyed this one for a while because it was lighter weight. It did pretty well. I found that the blade, although easy to sharpen, didn't hold up quite as well as this one does. So that's why I landed on this. It has great opening capabilities. You can see there, it's just really tough. The only other complaint I have is this chimping is just a little bit here. This chimping is a little bit aggressive. And it tends to, because of the way I carry it, it tends to rip up my hand going in and out of my pocket a lot, especially during the winter time. Gloves, so I don't carry a whole lot in my right hand pocket. So that's my EDC knife. Probably the second most important thing is my watch. It's Armitron, I think it's called, watch. It was 20 bucks from Walmart. I used to carry a G-Shock watch, 50, 60 bucks. When the batteries go bad on those things, it's really hard for the G-Shocks to have new batteries put in and remain watertight. So when I had to replace it, I didn't have a whole lot of money, 20 bucks. It's worked great, keeps time, has some great alarms on it, stopwatch, everything I kind of need to do really well. My next most important tool is probably my Samsung S4 Mini. It's a half decent phone. I just have a spec carrying case because I'm pretty tough on it. It's an okay phone. Probably if I had a choice, I would probably carry an iPhone, but because of some change of plans and some finances, this was the cheaper of the two, and it works for my needs. It just takes a while to set up, and I don't have a whole lot of time with 2 jobs to kind of play with my phone, so I bring that along. But with that, because I drive a lot, is my Plantronic, I think it's called, ear Bluetooth. I have that in my ear most of the day because the school has found a habit of getting my phone number, and when they need me to move somewhere or do something, instead of using our walkie-talkies, it's just easier to get a hold of my phone. I do. So and this costs about 50 bucks. Wasn't real expensive. I spent a little more money because it is important to what I do in my job, and I use that regularly. My keys, I don't have them all here, but the 2 tools I have attached to them very simply are this S-clip, which clips onto a belt loop. It's a little small for what I'd like, but the next size up was kind of huge at the hardware store. And although I have a bigger size for my work keys, this seems to work well for around the house and what I do. And attached to it is this screw pop little light. It does what I need it to. I actually bought this with a set of things. I got rid of that, went to the small little S-clip. It seems to work really, really well. Carry in my right hand pocket with my knife, I carry a tube of chapstick. It doesn't necessarily have to be chapstick. It can be pretty much any of those. They seem to work really well for the wintertime and the summertime when I'm outside working. Keep my lips from getting chapped. Does really well. You can't leave these in the car though. That's my only problem. Or on really hot days, this kind of turns to mush in my pocket. I got to be kind of careful of that depending on where I am and what I'm doing. Next thing I carry with me is my stream light, Streamlight Stylus Pro flashlight. I love this thing. Yeah, I know a lot of people say there's some flickering problems with the back, and that is true. They do have that problem, but the light quality that you get for such a small flashlight is just amazing, and I really like this. I do wear it with a nylon sheath, and the reason I carry that is because the one complaint that I have with this, and I don't know if you can see this, is this little clip. It just isn't strong enough sometimes to fit in your pocket, and because it has a longer profile, this clip has bent on me, and this is my second one because my first one fell out of my pocket one day, and I don't know where it went. And so I like the light so much though, so I decided to try to wear it with this. Works great. You got to really break this in a little bit. Not necessarily the clip. Clip works great, holds it in tight, but because this end is larger, you got to really break this in, because when you have it on your belt, it kind of sticks there when you first get it. I finally, in the last week or so, have it broken in, and I'm really enjoying carrying that. That cost me about 20 bucks. I got it at Cabela's. It is. One of the newest things I've put in my EDC is a simple notebook. This is get 3 of these at Staples. I love the purple. It's so manly there, but it's just a notebook and a space pen. And the reason I carry these 2 along is because a lot of times it isn't easy just to reach in your pocket and start typing. I have really big hands, and typing on my phone isn't great, but I can take this out. This pen works anywhere in the rain. The only thing that I would change eventually is to get a waterproof book, because I'm outside in the rain a lot with my job sometimes, and this thing just gets really damp and hard to write on, although the pen is phenomenal. Works great thing in life. The probably the most expensive thing I carry in my whole EDC is the Leatherman Wave. And I got this at Home Depot for about 60-70 bucks, and I love some of these things. I love the capability of this for harder work, although it's really hard to sharpen. If you want to leave comments in the bottom about how to sharpen one of these, I would love to learn. As I said, I'm a tactical newbie, and but the file comes in handy. I've actually used these tools for cutting. This thing can be sharpened to just a razor point. I've actually used this knife to cut small limbs, and it's held up really well. I've used this to change ballasts at work. The tools are great. Eventually what I want to invest in is in this little pocket. I've lost the Phillips head flathead, and I'm looking for that. Really nice job. Nice case, stainless steel, holds up good in the weather. Just really helpful with my job as the courier, and I like that. The last thing I kind of carry with me, and this is more, I hate to tell you, this is more for show. I love guys who make these, and I've actually made this. I am a Steeler fan, Pittsburgh Steeler fan. I've actually made this, and I've made others, and I wear this more for a reminder that I'm kind of prepared for whatever's going to come my way that day. The reason I say these are mostly useless, if there was truly an emergency, the time it would take me to unravel this would make it absolutely worthless. And I know that for a fact because I've used it twice. I've actually taken it apart twice, and the first time was on a camping trip in Virginia at an amazing campground called False Cape State Park. It's about 3.5 miles in and out. You can't take vehicles in. You either have to hike in or bike in. And I had this with me. It made a great wash line, and then I used some of it for extra tie downs on my tent in that trip, because during the rain my tent started to sag, and I used it. But it takes so long to take apart. When I show you the third level of what I carry with me and usually have with me within a mile of where I am at any given time, you'll notice why this is more for show. I carry a spool of about 100 feet that is quick release, and so this is just more for show, that it reminds me that I'm prepared. That's basically what I have. The one thing I would like to introduce to my setup, and I've started carrying in the last week or so, is one of these. I have it in my second tier, and it's not necessarily for fire making. So what I carry this more for is just simple things. There are times where I run into locks that have frozen over in the wintertime, and as long as you don't put it underneath, you won't melt any of the gear, and you can warm it up from the side, and that's been incredible in helping me do things. And I want to make it part of my everyday carry. I just haven't figured out a safe place to kind of put it yet, but it's just something I want to do. This is my tactical Nooby everyday carry. You guys can make suggestions. I know some of you knife guys are going to laugh at my knife and suggest other things. I can afford that. I can afford pretty much everything on here. I don't have an enormous amount of money, and so what I do is I buy tools that work for a fairly reasonable price. But this is my tool setup, and this is my everyday carry. And you know what? I have not been in a situation yet where I have needed something that isn't here. That isn't right away available to me at any given moment. And so that's why we want to welcome you to the first video in Tactical Noob, Tac Noob, and please give me suggestions of what you'd like to see. Any suggestions on gear upgrade, as long as they're not like $100, $200, I'm great with that. And thanks for being part of what we're trying to do here.